Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Flow with Vanessa. I am Vanessa. Doing any flowing today, though I have other videos. If you're interested, go check them out. I'll link them down below or on the screen. Kind of new to this YouTube thing, so I'm still figuring it out, but I will link it somewhere. Otherwise, just go check out my channel. So anyway, today what we are going to do instead of some yoga is some talking. Well, I'm going to talk mostly, but I'm just going to talk about how I got started in yoga. Recently when I was teaching a class, someone asked me that, and I was like, it's kind of an interesting story, because today yoga is such a big part of my life. It's such a big part of who I am. It's something I love, but that hasn't always been the case. Not too long ago, I really had no idea what yoga was at all. It played zero to no part in my life. So it's kind of cool to see how far it's come, and I just want to share that with you as well. So to start off, I guess yoga has a lot to do with my struggles with anxiety and depression. When I went to university, when I graduated high school and went to university, I struggled a lot with anxiety, with depression, with panic attacks. I went on some medication for all of that at one point too, and I was a mess emotionally, physically, medically, and I was not doing very well at all. And I dropped out of university twice, in fact. And the first time I dropped out, I moved back home. And I started seeing doctors, I started seeing a counselor and all these, people trying to get my life back on track. And my mom was like, okay, how about we go meet my yoga teacher as well? So a little backstory. My mom used to practice yoga. She practiced, when I was in high school, she'd been practicing for quite a few years. And I remember when I was in high school, she'd always be like, oh, you should come to a yoga class with me. And I thought I was too cool, and actually it's more than I thought that it was too cool. It's just that I really had no interest. Yoga to me was, sitting in one place, and I was like, I don't want to really do that. And also my mom used to go really early in the mornings and the weekends, and I was like, I'm not waking up, I'm sorry. So I didn't really practice yoga, but when I dropped out and came back, my mom was like, let's go meet this yoga teacher of hers, so I did. We went to meet this yoga teacher, and that first time when we talked, she asked me a whole bunch of things, and something she asked me was like, okay, what is something that you're really struggling with right now? And I honestly, at this point, I didn't really know how to talk about my anxiety, so I didn't talk about it that much, but what I did tell her was that I was struggling with sleep. And she right away goes, okay, that is something we can work on. And she wanted me to come to class 3 or 4 times a week. She used to teach a 6 a.m. morning class at her house, and she was like, that would be a really good class for you to come to. So, a little story as well. So the yoga teacher lived about 45 minutes away from where we lived. My family lived at the time. So my parents, my mom and my dad, sometimes just my mom, sometimes just my dad, used to drive me there. We had to leave the house at 5, so we had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, leave the house by 5 to be able to get there for the 6 a.m. class. Then it would be an hour and a half sometimes, and they'd drive me home, and my parents would go to work after that. I would sometimes take a nap because I'd be like, oh, I've been up since 4:30, I'm tired. And I honestly owe my parents everything for doing that for me, for driving me to these classes. Because even though I didn't know it at the time, that was the beginning of a new chapter for me. And it was amazing that they were able to do something like that for me, because I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure it made their mornings harder, having to go to work after being up and driving around that early in the morning. But it was everything to me, and I'm forever grateful to them for doing that. After that, I started going for these classes, and I'm not going to say I fell in love with yoga right away. That's not really how it happened. I didn't not like it, but I didn't love it either. It wasn't like, as soon as I went for my first class, I was like, oh, this is the answer to all my problems, I'm better. That's not really how it happened at all. It was just something I kept going back to. I was like, okay, I'm going for these classes. Keep in mind at this point, mentally I wasn't very strong, is what I will say. So I was just kind of doing whatever, trying to do whatever I could do. Since I was going so regularly, it just kind of became a pattern. It became something I kept doing. I didn't really practice on my own for the first couple of months. It was mostly just whatever I practiced in classes. And after some time, I started liking the physical practice. I liked, the movement. I liked the physical benefits that you could get from yoga, and that's when I started practicing by myself. I started going on YouTube channels like Yoga with Adrienne or Boho Beautiful, both great channels, so you guys should check out. I started doing stuff like that on my own. Again, it wasn't too much, it was just a bit here and there. I went back to university about 8 months after I dropped out, and I dropped out again. This time I lasted about 2 months before I dropped out. And this time it was especially hard for me the second time because I was letting go and giving up on a dream. I wouldn't say giving up. I was letting go of a dream that I had thought I had wanted my whole life, and I realized it wasn't the right fit for me anymore. My experiences and everything I had been through that first year in university had changed me, and I no longer could want the same things I had once wanted. So yeah. University was a crazy experience for me, and I would love to talk about it in a later video. But it's a long story and a whole video of its own, so if you guys are interested, let me know. I will make that. I dropped out a second time, and that is when yoga really became something in my life. It became important to me. The physical practice, the pranayama, breathing exercises, the meditation. When I dropped out of university the second time, I was really lost. I had no idea what I was doing with my life, like most people at 19. No idea what I was doing with my life. I had no idea who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go, and more than that, I think I had a very low opinion of myself. I felt like a failure. I had this constant string of negative thoughts going around in my head, and yoga became the counter to all of that for me. And then the following summer I moved to Toronto, which is where I am right now. I started going to university over here, and this is when I started practicing yoga every day. People always ask, what made you stronger when you moved to Toronto compared to the first 2 times you went to university? And it was my yoga practice. My yoga practice was strong enough that it became something I came back to all the time. It's not like my anxiety went away. I still struggle with anxiety on a daily basis, but I'm able to find that safe space, that safe time. I'm able to find a way to take care of myself through yoga, and that's what's made all the difference in my life. So when I moved here, about a couple months after that, about 2 years since I'd been practicing yoga, I decided this was something I wanted to teach, and this was something I wanted to share because I think it's so valuable. Yoga teaches us so much about our breath, and it teaches us to be kind to ourselves, which was something I really needed to be at that point in my life. And I did my teacher trainings this past summer, and I was very lucky. I got to start teaching pretty much right away, and I really enjoy it. And I enjoy being a student. I love that even as a teacher, it doesn't mean I've stopped being a student. I'm forever a student in this practice, and that's what makes it so, so wonderful. So that's my little story on how I got started in yoga. I love it, and I'm so happy. I'm happy with the person it has helped me become. And I'm happy that I get to share that with people as well, because that's what life is all about, really, being able to share who we are, because we are never alone in what we go through. There's always people going through something similar, and that's really what I want to do and help with sharing the story, is that there's someone out there who probably is feeling the way I once felt, and if I can help make them feel a little bit less alone, that's really all I want. So yeah, that's the end of this little video. I will be making more videos like this, as well as I upload a yoga class every Sunday, so subscribe, press your push notification things. To be completely honest, I have no idea what the notifications thing is. I've just heard other people say it, so I thought I'd throw that in. Like I said before, I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I'm still kind of figuring it out, but bear with me and subscribe and come back and watch some more videos. I definitely plan on making a video sometime soon about my whole university experience and dropping out and stuff like that. Also, down in the comments, I have a little blog post going up about if you're interested in starting a yoga practice and you want to talk about the benefits between practicing at home versus going to a yoga class. Go check out my blog post. It's interesting. So yeah, that is all for now. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and know that you're not alone. Know that whatever you're going through, whatever phase in life you're at, You will get through it. You are strong. You are wonderful. You are worthy of so, so much. Wishing you guys all the best. Have wonderful days. And I hope to see you back here soon.